If vector A is 2i minus 6j plus 3k, vector B is 4i plus 3j minus k, and vector C is I minus 2j plus 2k, you've been told to show that the first bracket A cross B, then cross C is not the same as A cross in bracket B cross C. Are we together? Then after that, you've been told to determine a unit vector that is perpendicular to the plane of A and B. So when you are dealing with this, you know matrices is the order. What comes first must come first, isn't it? Are we together? So for you to get this first part, you need to find A cross B cross C, isn't it? So for you to get A cross B cross C, meaning you must first get what is inside the bracket, isn't it? A cross B. So what is A cross B? A cross B is the determinant, isn't it? It is the determinant of what? The first column is ij, k. Then which one comes first? A. Are we together? A comes first. So you go A. What is your x of A? Your x of A is 2. Your y of A is -6. Your k of A is 3. Are we together? Then you go to B. B is, your x of B is what? 4. Your y of B is +3, isn't it? Yes. Then your z of B is -1. So from there, if you work that out, what do you get? You know it is always -1 raised to power I plus j, I through and j column, isn't it? So this is first row, first column, that is -1 raised to power 2, that is positive, isn't it? Are we together? This is first row, second column, -1 raised to 3 is negative, isn't it? Then here, first row, third column, -1 raised to power 4 is positive. Are we together? Those who have the calculator, I expect you to give me the answer, because you simply go to the calculator and you key in vector A. Go to the calculator and key in vector A. So vector A, you put your x of A, your y of A, and your z of A. Then key in vector B. Are we together? So you go to the calculator. When you select vector A, you are going to have the bracket of 2, -6, 3. Then you press a C button to minimize. Then you press vector B. Then you key in the values of B, that is 4, 3, -1. Then you go back again. Then you press vector A. Then you press multiplication sign for the cross product, isn't it? Are we together? The dot product, you have to select number 7 is there out of the choices, but the cross product is not in the choices. Cross product is the multiplication sign, isn't it? Then you press vector A, cross vector B. What does the calculator give you? Then you write the answer here direct. But if you are a manualist, you still need to block first row and first column. So -1 times -6, you get 6 minus 9 is when you come and write for us -3. And those are waste of time. Are you seeing that? If you are doing it this manually, meaning you block the first I is in the first row, first column. So if you block the first row and first column, you remain with -1 times -6, isn't it? Which is 6, then minus 3 times 3, which is 9 into I. So you get -3i, isn't it? Then here, you know, outside here, you have -j outside. When you have -j outside, when you block, j is in the first row, second column, isn't it? So when you block the first row and second column, what do you remain with? 2 times -1, isn't it? Which is -2 minus 3 times 4, which is 12. So -2 minus 12 is -14, isn't it? -14 times -j, positive 14j. Are we together? Meaning this j is always negative when it is a 3 by 3 matrix, isn't it? Move to the next one, positive k is just k into what? K is in the first row, third column. So if you block the first row and the third column, what do you remain with? You remain with this. 2 times 3 is minus 4 times -6, -24. So negative into negative is what? So you get plus 30k. All those steps are waste of time. What I'm saying, you simply go to the calculator and you key vector A, isn't it? Are we together? And you key vector B, isn't it? Then you cross A, cross B. What does the calculator give you? That is the value I want. So that value is always right. You will never mess up any time, isn't it? And you will never waste any time. What have you found? What has the calculator given you? And +30. So the calculator has given you x to be negative 3, meaning if you cross this is the answer the calculator will return, negative 3, 14, 30, isn't it? And you know it is supposed to be xi plus yj plus zk. So where there is x, you put the value of x. Where there is y, you put the value of y. Where there is z, you put the value of z. Are you seeing that? Are we together? It is the calculator. It is the calculator to be used in working out this problem. So after that, we've now found a cross. We found a cross b. After finding a cross b, so after that, we've now found a cross b, isn't it? Then the next step is now a cross b cross c. So this a cross b is now one thing, isn't it? So we now go to the next step. We now have a cross b cross c. So a cross b, if it is another vector d, it is like b cross c, isn't it? Are we together?
Yes.
So that one is going to be the determinant of, we have I, j, k, and you know j is negative, isn't it?
Yes.
So from there, a cross b comes first, and a cross b is this you found one thing, isn't it?
Yes.
You found your x is negative, your y is positive, and your z is 30. Then your c comes next. Order of a matrix must be followed, isn't it? C comes next. What is your x for C? It's this silent one, isn't it? Your y for C is negative, negative 2. Then your z for C is positive, positive 2 is just 2, isn't it? So can you feed these two vectors in the calculator? You can let a cross b to be another vector, maybe vector d, to be. You can let this a cross b to be vector d, so that you reset, just press a on button so that you can select vec A to represent that A cross B, isn't it? Then you select vector B to represent C. Senor, are we together? Yes. So where there is A cross B, that is going to be vector A, which is where you put negative 3 for G30. Then where this vector B, you put that. What do you get? So those who are doing it manual, start with I. Here we have I into, if you block the first round, first column, what do you remain with? 14 times 2? 28 minus 30 times negative 2, isn't it? That is negative. So it is the main diagonal minus the minor diagonal.
Yes.
I is in the first row, first column. So if you block the first row and the first column, these are the values you remain with, isn't it?
Yes.
2 times 14 minus negative 2 times 30. So negative into negative is?
Positive.
Positive. So 28 plus 60?
88.
So there you have 88 I. Are we together?
Yes.
You have 88 I. Then move to the next one. Here we have negative j. Then in bracket, j is in the first row and second column. So if you block the first row and the second column, what do you remain with? See, 2 times negative 3,
Yes.
which is negative.
6.
Then minus 1 times 30, isn't it? So what do you get? Negative 6 minus 30. Then negative 36 times negative j, which is outside. Positive 36 j. Are we together? Are we together? Move to the next one. K. K is outside there. K is in the first row, third column. So if you block the first row and the third column, see these are the four, this is what you are going to remain with.
Yes.
Meaning it is negative 2 times negative 3 is minus 14 times 1, 14, isn't it? Are we together? So 6 minus 14, negative 8 times k is negative 8. Okay, so those who are using a calculator, those who fed these vectors in the calculator, what did you get? You got this 88, 36, and negative 8, isn't it? So you can see calculator is the best way. Are we together? Calculator is the best to minimize time wastage. So we found A cross B cross C. Tuko pamoja? Let's go to the next one. So we found the left hand side of this equation. Now we want the right hand side, isn't it? So in this right hand side, what do we get first? What is in the bracket? And what is in the bracket? B cross C, meaning we need to determine the bracket first. B cross C. So can you now get for me B cross C? That is the determinant of, put your I, J, K, and you know K, J is always negative because it is negative 1 raised to power I throw plus J column, isn't it? Are we together? Then you move. The first one is what? Order of a matrix must be followed. The first one is B. So what is the x of B? 4. See, x of B is 4. Then you move. Y of B is positive 3, which is just 3, isn't it? Then Z of B is negative 1. Are we together? You are done with B. Then after B, followed by C, isn't it? X for C is 1. Then Y for C is negative 2. Then Z for C is what? Positive 2 is just 2. Are we together? So what is this determinant? Now go for I. When you block the I, the first row and first columns, you fill with these values. 3 times 2, 6 minus negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2, isn't it? Are we together? So 6 minus 2 is 4 times I is 4. I. Those who have the calculator, I hope you are feeding. You are letting vector A to be this first one and vector B to be this second one, isn't it? So it is vector A cross vector B. Then you will find the answers the way we are looking for them manually. But I don't need this manual, okay? Are we together? I don't need this manual. So you go to the next one, negative J into, J is in the first row and second column, isn't it? So when you block this first row and this second column, what do you remain with? 4 times 2, isn't it? Which is 8 minus, if you block this and this, minus negative 1 times 1, isn't it? That is negative. So what is 8 minus negative 1? That is 8 plus 1, 9. So 9 times negative J? Negative 9J. Never forget to negate J. Are we together?
Yes.
Never forget to negate J. Then the next is K, isn't it? K into K is in the first row and third column. So if you block the first row and third column, see this is what you remain with. 4 times negative 2, negative 8 minus 1 times 3, negative 3. So negative 8 minus negative 3, negative 11, isn't it? Times K. So that is negative 11 K. Is that what you are getting from the calculator?
Yes.
Yes, the value from the calculator is what I trust. I only trust the value from the calculator. The rest are rumors. So the next, we now want A cross B cross C. We now bring them together, isn't it? So we now have what? A cross B cross C. That is the determinant of the order of a matrix must be followed. Remember, we have I, negative J, K. So A must start. The order of a matrix must be followed. So don't come here and start feeding the values of B cross C, which are these. A must come first. Are you seeing that? A must. If you don't follow the order of a matrix, you get it all wrong. Are we together? A must come first. So what is X of A? 2. What is Y of A? Negative 6. What is Z of A? Positive 3. Then it is followed by B cross C. And B cross C you found is this, isn't it? Are we together? So what is X of B cross C? C is 4. Then what is Y of B cross C? Negative 9. Then what is Z for B cross C you found is? Negative 11. So if you work out this following the same procedure we've been following, what do you get? What do you get? If you follow the same procedure we've been following, you found? So I want you to feed 2, negative 6 and 3 to be vector. Vector A, you go to vectors, number 8. So you select 1, then 3, number 1 for 3-dimensional. So vector A you are feeding 2 for X is equals to, then negative 6 for Y is equals to, then 3 for Z. You fed vector A. Then you let B cross C, you let it to be vector B, isn't it? Number 8, then vector B, number 2, isn't it? 3-dimensional, number 1. Then the X there is 4. Then the Y there is negative 9. Then the Z there is negative 11. So after getting all that, then you now go to shift, you go to vectors. So we have vector A because A was coming first, isn't it? That is number 3, then cross. Then you shift again. Vector B is what you let to represent B cross, isn't it? Which is 4. So if you cross them, what do you get? You get X is 93, Are you seeing that? X is 93, meaning we are going to get 93i, isn't it? 93i, and y is? Y, that is x, y is the second value, that is 34. So it is plus 34 here, y here, isn't it? Then z is 6. So plus 6. Okay. Are those the values we are getting from manual?
Yes.
The manual list?
Yes.
Good. So those are the values we expect from you. When you are a manualist, you just do things manual the way you want, but you know, doing manual things are a waste of time, isn't it? That is something you need to know. So if you look at this, what were you told? You can see A cross B cross C, you found it to be 88i plus 36j minus 8k, isn't it? Then A cross B cross C in bracket, you found is 93i plus 34j plus 6k. So you prove that this is not equals to this. Are you seeing?
Yes.
So you've actually proved that A cross B in bracket cross C is not equals to A cross in bracket B cross C. They are not equal because you are getting different answer. Are you seeing that? Are we together? So after that, you now say it therefore implies that this is not equal to this based on the results you found. Based on the results you found. Are we together? Good. We have to be together. So after that, you go to part B. Part B, you've been told what? Determine a unit vector that is perpendicular to the plane of A and B. That is very simple. Meaning, for you to get that, A and B, for a unit vector to be perpendicular to the plane of A and B, it is in a different plane, isn't it? So it means you are getting the cross product of A cross B, isn't it? You are getting the cross product A cross, and you've already found A cross B in the first part of this question. Are you seeing? So you don't need to find it again. You've already found A cross B. Are you seeing that? So when you are answering this second part, which whereby you are determining a unit vector that is perpendicular to the plane of A and B, all we need is A cross B. After getting A cross B, if this A cross B, if you let it to be maybe another vector to be D, if you let D to represent this A cross B, then a unit vector which is perpendicular to A cross B is D divided by its magnitude, isn't it? Are we together? It is D divided by? When you are looking for a unit vector that is perpendicular to the plane of A and B, meaning it is the vector cross product, isn't it? So a unit vector, if you let this A cross B to be vector D, then when you are looking for a unit vector perpendicular to the plane of A and B, it is unit vector perpendicular to the plane of A and B, which we've said let vector D represent that unit vector, isn't it? So it is going to be the vector D over magnitude of vector D, isn't it? And this vector D is the cross product, meaning it is A cross B over the magnitude of that A cross B. Then you found a unit vector perpendicular to the plane of A and B, meaning it is a vector in another plane, the vector cross product. Are we together? So you just do the substitution. We've already found A cross B, meaning we are now looking for the magnitude of A cross B, isn't it? What is the magnitude of A cross B? Pythagoras theorem. That is going to be square root of x squared. See, this is the x of A cross B. We've said let D to be not x cross B, or we just leave that D thing alone so that we just have A cross B over A cross, magnitude of A cross B. Are we together? We were using D to represent A cross B. Is that understood? So, what is your x is negative. So it is x squared plus, what is your y for A cross B? Positive 14 plus 14 squared, what is your z? Positive 30. So when you square negative, they will all be positive. What do you get? 33? You found 33.24. So if you are looking for this unit vector, which is perpendicular or orthogonal or normal to the plane of A cross B, then it is to the plane of A and B, then it is A cross B over magnitude of that A cross B. Are we together? Yes, so if you let A cross B to be D, it is just vector D over magnitude of vector D, isn't it?
Yes.
So what do you get? You now have A cross B over magnitude of A cross B, which is, A cross B you found was negative 3I plus 14J plus 30K. Then over the magnitude you found is 0.24. So if you like, you can simplify. This is the common denominator, isn't it?
Yes.
And negative 3 divided by 33.24?
Negative 0.09.
Negative 0.09. I, then positive 14 divided by 33.24?
Positive 0.42.
Positive 0.42. J, plus 30 divided by 33.24?
Positive 0.90.
Positive 0.9?
0.
0K, isn't it? Now what you do, you simply go to the calculator and you feed vector. You feed this vector. You can even select vector, isn't it? Then you put your x is negative 3, your y is 14, your z is 30. Then you say vector divided by 33.24. It will give you the answers direct, everything direct, so that you don't waste time. This is the calculator to help you. Are we together? Are we together? Very good. So that is what you expect in that problem.